I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Donald Trump has issued a vile, reprehensible, and desperate statement after the United States House of Representatives Ways and Means Committee has released Donald Trump's actual tax returns from 2015 to 2020. They previously released two executive summaries, one on the fact that Donald Trump was not actually under audit when Donald Trump claimed he was under audit. Instead, Donald Trump was using the IRS to audit his political enemies while also using the IRS through his Treasury Department Secretary Steve Mnuchin to block any audits of him. And the other executive summary summarized the fact that Donald Trump basically paid no taxes. He was paying like $0, $750. When you look at all of the taxes Donald Trump paid from 2015 to 2020, he actually received money. He received a $3 million tax refund. And even though there were some years, he paid $0. There was a year where he paid $750. There was one year where he paid close to $1 million, but it was still less than 4% of the purported income that he made that year. But when you factor in the refund he claimed in 2020, he received a total refund of $3 million and paid no money in actual taxes during those 5 years. And now we have the raw data. I'll talk about some of the raw data, the actual returns, what we're learning in a moment. But here's the statement that Donald Trump put out on his social media platform. And I want to talk about some of the responses to his statement on his social media platform as well, so you can just see how shameful and disgraceful that they are. But here's what Donald Trump stated in this statement. Statement by Donald Trump. He goes, "The Democrats should have never done it. The Supreme Court should have never approved it, and it's going to lead to horrible things for so many people. The great USA divide will now grow far worse. The radical left Democrats have weaponized everything, but remember, that is a dangerous two-way street. The, quote, Trump tax returns once again show how proudly successful I have been able to use depreciation and various other tax deductions as an incentive for creating thousands of jobs and magnificent structures and enterprises." He goes on to write, Forbes, Trump's assets are worth an estimated $4.3 billion. The former president owns real stuff, mansions, golf courses, office buildings that throw off real cash, even if his tax returns might suggest otherwise. The D.C. hotel opened in 2016, and by 2018, Trump had already declared tax losses of $55.5 million there, according to the Times. Still, the property is worth something. One investor offered $175 million for it before the coronavirus decimated the hotel industry. The Trumps turned that offer down, and then it goes on. Forbes now figures, then it cuts out the rest from the statement, although Donald Trump just provides false data to everybody. But anyway, let's go back to Donald Trump's statement here. He goes that what comes around goes around, basically. It's a dangerous two-way street. He goes, every single president since Nixon has released their tax returns. Biden released his tax returns. Obama released his tax returns. George W. Bush released his tax returns. Clinton released his tax returns. You were the only person who didn't release his tax returns. Frankly, this is an important precedent that needs to be set. This is legislation that should be made so that we can see things like the fact that when you lied during the debate that you had, that you said that you didn't have a Chinese bank account since 2013 and that you shut it down in 2015. We now have learned from the tax returns that were released on Friday that indeed you had a Chinese bank account and that you were paying more money in Chinese taxes than you were paying in the United States, that you paid approximately $200,000 or so in taxes to the Chinese government when you were paying $0 or $750 in the United States of America. And also your other foreign bank accounts were revealed as well, the bank account in the UK, the bank account in Ireland. And we also see that despite the fact that you claim to be, this great business person, that you claim that you lost all of this money in the various years while you were president. Millions and millions of dollars you claim you lost. And I'll just go through it very quickly with some of the things that you've claimed you lost. In 2015, you claim you lost $31 million. In 2016, you claim you lost $32 million. In 2017, you claim you lost $12 million. 2018, you claim you made $24 million. In 2019, you claim you made $4 million. In 2020, you claim you lost $4 million. And in 2020, that's when you claimed a $5 million refund that you received. And like in 2016, you paid $750 in taxes. In 2017, you paid $750 in taxes. No, so it is absolutely critical that we see these tax returns so that we know who you are. We know where your money is going. We know the fact that you're putting foreign interest above the interest of the United States government and the United States people, and that you're putting your own personal interests above the interests of the American people. You know, you go into your statements as well, you attack the United States Supreme Court, you say the Democrats shouldn't have done it. Look, the law is that there is a mandatory presidential audit program, a mandatory presidential audit program, which you and Steve Mnuchin blocked. It's not the Democrats. That was written into law following Nixon and Nixon's shady financial dealings, that there was this mandatory audit program. And what the oversight that was done by the Democrats, because Republicans would love to just cover this up for you, what the oversight shows is that the Treasury Department had basically been instructing the IRS not to do these audits of you. And absolutely, the House Ways and Means Committee has the right to release these tax returns public. Everything's a two-way street, you say. Who are you making that threat to? President Biden has already released his returns. And the returns, you say, once again show how proudly successful I have been to use depreciation. They don't. They show what a criminal you've been. And we could take a number of examples, but let's just take, for example, the 212-acre property in Westchester, which is owned by one of your shell companies, Seven Springs LLC, which you purportedly purchased in 1995 for about $7.5 million. It was appraised in 2015, 2016 by government entities, by the state, as being $20 million. Yet you took a $56.5 million deduction for a conservation easement relating to this 212-acre property to offset the taxes that you had to pay. And so the appraised value, $20 million, you took a $56.5 million deduction there. And so those are the types of things that the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is going to look into, because that looks and smells a lot like fraud there. And one of the other things that looks like you did is you took a deduction on the Stormy Daniels payoff. You took a deduction of the payment that you made to Michael Cohen to pay off Stormy Daniels as an expense to offset your income. And you took a deduction there. I mean, and the list goes on and on and on. You know, I was looking at the comments on your social media platform. Like, what were people responding to you there? I just wanted to see, like, I know how people respond on Twitter. I know how people respond on YouTube. I just wanted to see on your social media platform, like, how are people responding? And it's some of the weirdest and strangest stuff. And so here's one of the things that we see. They all look like this. Like, every single response to this except for one, and I'll show you the one response that deviates, but then how people respond to that one. For example, this person, Andrea, who, by the way, Trump reposts all the time, in response to Trump posting that statement, they just post these weird memes, these weird cultish memes of Donald Trump. But they're like, Donald Trump is the greatest president of all time. And then Laura45 responds with this weird photo of Donald Trump wearing the Captain America outfit. They are going after me because they are really going after you. I'm just in the way. It's a photo of Donald Trump wearing that. Then you have someone named Oksana Trump who goes, "Hell yeah, I'm a proud MAGA warrior." And then she writes, "Innocent, stop the witch hunt." All they do is they post in response to Trump's statement these really, really bizarre memes. But there was one statement as I was scrolling down on the social media platform where someone asked the question, this person, Andrew Washington, at America's Grand Old Party, who just asked the question, why does Trump pay more taxes to China? Need answers. Why is Donald Trump paying more taxes to China than he is paying in the United States of America? And that was the only one comment that I saw there as I scrolled down of someone like asking an actual question. And then when you look at the responses, though, that this individual received, the responses are these weird memes. I work only one special interest group, the American people. Innocent. Stop the witch hunt is another meme. And this weird post of Elon Musk. What if I told you the only way to escape the matrix is to unlearn everything that you have been taught and rebuild your entire belief system based on critical thought and analysis? And then there's this other post. You ready to finish what we started? And then, so then you have all of that. American coup d'etat, all these like weird conspiracy memes. And when you think about it, that is what MAGA extremists are doing right now in response. Just posting and sharing weird memes of Donald Trump and weird conspiracy memes. And it's like, these are the people like, oh, we do our own research. No, you read the statement that Donald Trump gave you, and then you post weird memes. Weird conspiracy QAnon-ish memes. That's not doing your own research. You want to do your own research, why don't you literally just look at the returns? Just look at the data. And maybe if you're not just Russian bots and you're actually real people, who knows, look at your returns and look at his returns. And look at the type of things that he's claiming. Look, he's got a Chinese bank account. It's right there. I know you'll say, oh, that's fake news. He said he doesn't have a Chinese bank. He lists it. It says he's got a Chinese bank account. It says he's paying more taxes to China than to the United States of America. Look at this. He's claiming all of these deductions, which seem to be completely fraudulent and bogus deductions, so that he could completely offset his income and pay no taxes. They offset it to the perfection, to the exact amount? No, I mean, it's obvious what he is doing when you look at these returns. So if you want to critically think, look at it. And as I've always said, remove political parties, remove political labels, remove Democrat and Republican. If you are okay with reviewing Trump's tax returns and you go, oh, the greatest person in history, you're so smart, you're so brilliant, it shows that he's stealing from you. I mean, we know already that to a large extent, the tax bills passed by the Republican Party reflect a redistribution of wealth and reflect a way for millionaires and billionaires to claim a lot of deductions, to have significantly lower taxes. And by the way, raising the taxes of working class and middle class. That's what the tax plan of 2017 did. That's just what the outcome is. Objectively, that is what it did. But this isn't even utilizing the tax plan, the tax law, in a legal way, which, by the way, we could have serious objections to the tax, what it actually allows you to get away with legally. But whereas Trump could have claimed a deduction of, say, $20 million, he would claim the deduction of 50 or 60. He would make his own valuation outside of the appraised value, take the deduction, and then not pay taxes. And that's outrageous, and we need to call it out here. We're going to call it out here on the MeidasTouch Network. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers thanks to your incredible support. Hit the subscribe button right now. Also, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. We've got great exclusive content you can only get on our Patreon, but most importantly, help grow this independent media platform. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas. Happy New Year.
At MeidasTouch, we are unapologetically pro-democracy, and we demand justice and accountability. That's why we're spreading our message to Convict 45. That's right, gear up right now with your Convict 45 tees and pins at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.